My family hurt my child and expected me to stay silent. Instead, I took her to the hospital, pressed charges, and ended their perfect lives. 3 years ago, my own father beat my 8-year-old daughter so badly, she collapsed unconscious on the ground. And while she lay there bleeding, my brother-in-law stood nearby filming it. My family expected me to do what I had done my entire life: stay quiet, protect the family, pretend nothing happened. Instead, I carried my daughter to the hospital, called the police, and destroyed every single one of their perfect lives. And honestly, I'd do it again. If you've ever dealt with toxic family members who thought they could get away with anything, you're going to feel this story. So before we dive in, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments, would you expose your own family to protect your child? Alright, let's get into it. 3 years have passed since that summer day. My daughter Sophie is 8 now. She's happy. She laughs easily. She loves drawing unicorns and watching cartoons. And thankfully, she remembers very little about what happened. But I remember everything, every second. Because the truth is, the barbecue that day didn't explode out of nowhere. It was the result of a lifetime of favoritism. Growing up, my younger sister Isabel was the golden child. Everything about her was perfect in my parents' eyes. Perfect grades, perfect cheerleader smile, perfect life, and eventually, the perfect husband. Her husband, Adrian, was a lawyer. They lived in a beautiful suburban house with white columns and a manicured lawn that looked like it belonged on a magazine cover. Their daughter, Elena, had ballet lessons, piano classes, and birthday parties that probably cost more than my monthly rent. And then there was me, the disappointment, a single mom, working exhausting nursing shifts while taking night classes, trying to build a better life for me and Sophie. Every family gathering reminded me exactly where we stood in the hierarchy. Isabel and her family were treated like royalty. Sophie and I, we were tolerated, sometimes, at every birthday party, every holiday dinner, every barbecue. I noticed the little things. My parents would hug Elena first. They'd buy her expensive gifts. Meanwhile, Sophie would get something cheap and generic, if they remembered at all. And Sophie noticed. Kids always do. Once, when she was only 5, she asked me something that broke my heart. "Mommy, why does Grandma like Elena more than me?" I didn't know what to say, so I lied. I told her she was imagining it, but deep down, I knew the truth. That July afternoon started like every other family gathering. Too much food, too much fake smiling. Isabel was showing off her renovated kitchen. My mom kept bragging about Elena's dance recital, and Sophie sat quietly beside me, clutching her little paper plate. Then came the cupcakes, bright pink frosting, little sprinkles. Sophie picked one carefully and sat down at the picnic table, and that's when Elena walked over. Without asking, she grabbed Sophie's cupcake. Sophie pulled it back. "Elena, stop," she said quietly. But Elena was used to getting whatever she wanted. They tugged, and in the struggle, the cupcake exploded. Pink frosting splattered across Elena's pristine white dress. For a moment, everything went silent. Then Isabel saw it. Isabel stormed over like a hurricane. "What did you do?" she screamed. Before Sophie could even speak, Isabel grabbed her arm. She ruined Elena's dress. I immediately stepped in. "They were both pulling the cupcake," I said. "It was an accident." But my parents were already circling like sharks. My mom gasped dramatically. "Oh my God, Clara, control your child." That familiar anger burned in my chest. "She didn't do anything wrong," I said. But Isabel wasn't listening. Her face twisted with rage. "You and your brat have always been jealous of my family." That's when I realized something terrifying. She wasn't just angry. She hated us. Everything happened fast after that. Too fast. Isabel suddenly grabbed me from behind, her arms wrapped around my shoulders. "Dad, do something," she yelled. And my father stepped forward, holding his belt. At first, my brain couldn't process what I was seeing. Then he grabbed Sophie. My little girl screamed, "Mommy!" I fought against Isabel's grip, but she was stronger than I expected. My father swung the belt, once, twice, again. The crack of leather against skin echoed across the backyard. Sophie's cries turned into gasps, then sobs, then weak whimpers, and the whole time, Adrian stood a few feet away, holding his phone, filming, not stopping it, not helping, just recording. I was screaming, begging, thrashing. But Isabel held me like a vice. And then, Sophie stopped moving. Her body went limp. She collapsed to the ground, unconscious. Time froze. My father stepped back, breathing heavily. My mother whispered, "Well, maybe now she'll learn." Learn. Those words snapped something inside me. I shoved Isabel off with every ounce of strength I had. Then I dropped to my knees beside Sophie. Her face was pale, her breathing shallow. There were bruises already forming. I scooped her into my arms, and without saying another word, I ran. The drive to the hospital is still a blur. Red lights, tears, my hands shaking on the steering wheel. I kept whispering to her, "Stay with me, baby. Stay with me." When we arrived, doctors rushed her into emergency care. Hours passed. Tests, scans, questions. Finally, a doctor sat down with me. Concussion, severe bruising, internal injuries. I felt like the floor disappeared beneath me. Then the doctor asked the question that changed everything. How did this happen? And for the first time in my life, I told the truth. The police arrived within minutes, and something I didn't expect happened. They believed me. Doctors had documented everything, the injuries, the belt marks, the trauma. And then, Adrian's video surfaced. Apparently he'd sent it to someone. It spread faster than he expected. Suddenly, there was undeniable proof. My father was arrested for felony child abuse. At trial, the video played in court. Jurors watched him beating an unconscious child. He was sentenced to prison. My mother, Isabel, and Adrian were all charged too, not stopping the assault, helping restrain me, recording instead of intervening. Their sentences were shorter, but their lives completely destroyed. But I wasn't finished, because once the criminal trial ended, I filed a civil lawsuit. And my lawyer, she was ruthless. Medical costs, emotional trauma, pain and suffering, lost income from caring for Sophie. The damages added up quickly. My parents had to sell their house. Isabel lost hers too. Adrian was disbarred from practicing law. Their perfect world collapsed piece by piece. The day the civil ruling came through, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Not revenge, not anger, just justice. Because the people who thought family loyalty would protect them learned the hard way. A mother protecting her child is far more powerful than their reputation. Sophie is thriving now. Therapy helped, time helped, love helped, and I learned something that day. Family isn't defined by blood. Family is defined by who stands beside you when it matters most. If this story shocked you, hit that like button and subscribe for more intense Reddit revenge stories. And I want to hear from you. What would you have done in my situation? Would you have exposed your own family or tried to handle it quietly? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next story.